my previous video, I mentioned something that Sparking Zero may face as an issue. I know it was a little clickbaity, but it's the truth. Sparking Zero may face that issue. If you haven't watched that video, make sure you go click on that. It's going to be linked in the description through the iCard, so you can click right here as well. If you're enjoying the vibes, make sure you slide subscribe. I really appreciate it, as it thrusts my channel into the algorithm and helps me out a little bit more, and it may help you out in the future too when I'm big enough to do some giveaways and things of that nature. So when I recorded this video, the news and information that recently broke light literally like a day ago, or maybe this morning or something like that, about how they are going to attack the ranked mode and the other online modes and gameplay systems behind that, and how they plan on pseudo balancing it, wasn't readily available to me at the time of recording this. I just want that to be known, so take what I'm saying with a grain of salt. They might already be working on the issue that I speak about in this video. Meat of this video is really trying to bring up to speed a lot of the newer players or people that's never done their research on what Sparking Zero actually is as a game fundamentally. Yes, the game has been now announced to be focused heavily on the online play. It's going to be trying to give you this experience that you can share with everyone around the world. You can make these custom battles and things of all that nature, right? But strip away all of that. This game, this franchise's fundamental feature is all built around having fun. You know, it's not supposed to be an extremely competitive game. The entire Budokai Tenkaichi game was always built around fun and casual play only. You can do competitive things, you can have these tournaments, but it's all in the good nature of having fun, goofing off with your friends, doing a bunch of different random shit, right? It's not supposed to be balanced. There's not a single Tenkaichi game that is actually balanced. I mean, just look back in the history, right? You go back and play Budokai Tenkaichi 1. I promise you, you play Super Saiyan 1 Goku, and then you go ahead and fight somebody like Krillin, you're going to be doing way more damage to them for a reason. And you know, they have these different customizable things that you can put in them, and that's always great. You can kind of build up your character in these type of ways. I don't know if they're going to do that in Sparking Zero, because it seems like in Sparking Zero, they're taking the best of both worlds, where they're using a lot of the ingenuity and a lot of the progressiveness of the Raging Blast series, and also everything else that is the original Sparking series, which is Budokai Tenkaichi, if you didn't know, and they're just fusing them together to make Sparking Zero. I just want you guys to know, do not go inside this game, do not go inside of Sparking Zero expecting it to be a competitive game, or trying to force the developers to make updates to make it a competitive game. That is something I see so much. Every game that comes out that's meant to be a casual game, and they don't know how to cater to this group of people, they don't know how to cater to this group of people, they always end up falling victim to just not catering to anyone, because you come up with an update that's supposed to cater to the casuals, and then 2 months later, you end up breaking that update with a different update that caters to the competitive scene. I've always said this: if you're going to make a competitive attempt, make it an entirely separate mode, and somehow get your developers to structure updates that are specific to that one mode, have rules and conditions placed on that one mode, so people are all around balanced when they go into a competitive scene. The most similar example I can give for this in terms of like Dragon Ball games would be Xenoverse. When you play Xenoverse online, it tells you that this is what everybody's level is going to be set to. That way there's nobody that has an unfair advantage. I mean, there are people that are better at one thing than the other, and you can see everybody's skill list and what their basically aptitude is in the game, but it's not like you're going to go into the game and one character is massively more broken than another character. It's just one character might be better at this thing than the other thing, and the other character might be quicker. Like, you know, Burter is not supposed to be as slow as the other characters. He's going to be quick, he's going to be very fast moving, and he has these really intricate combos that sometimes you can lose track of if you're not counting how many times you're pressing your combo buttons, right? Because he moves that fast for a reason. That's what I'm saying. Instead of speed, just replace that example of Burter with speed with somebody like Broly that doesn't get staggered in a lot of games that he's in, right? I recently did a run a couple months ago playing Shin Budokai Another Road, and I was absolutely pissed off in that game because every time that I was playing the game and I was fighting Broly, it's really hard to knock him down. He's basically just powering through everything that I do. I mean, he was so tall, he's barely staying on screen. His head is like cut off of the screen. Anyways, my point is that Broly in every game that he's in has had a history of not being able to be blown back and really pushed down a whole bunch, because that's just his stature. He naturally stands straight up, and he's always like, yo, I got you. I am the devil. I will literally crush you. Now, this super version of Broly, I don't know how they're gonna necessarily do it. I know we have some examples that have him not being able to be staggered by people like Hercule, and they've announced already in Sparking Zero on their updates that the Earthlings are gonna have a massive disadvantage fighting somebody that's like a god or a powered up Saiyan, where they're gonna have it basically balanced in a way that if you're playing as like Yamcha or Tien Shinhan, you're gonna be able to kind of go toe-to-toe with maybe a base form of a Saiyan, but as soon as they start getting up there in their transformations, you're gonna start to see a very noticeable dip in the amount of damage you're doing and amount of knockback that you're doing, and just how overall effective you are. You're gonna have to be a little more crafty with how you're actually attacking your enemies and bringing them down. But again, it's all made for the sake of having fun, but keeping true to the show. That's what Sparking Zero is about. It's supposed to be a game you come home from school with and you just couch play with your friends, couch play with your family, with your homies, whoever is around you, or you can just get online, play the game with your friends and your homies and family, whoever the case may be. The game is always going to be focused around casual gameplay first, that you can do some competitive, really learning the systems type of deals in, but it's not going to be shaped around that. However, if they are going to push for that, once again, I just advise the developers, if y'all ever see this, or maybe somebody else that's bigger that sees my video, push the developers that if they are going to be very competitive focused and they want to have this be like a really big online push, bring the game to Evo, whatever, I highly doubt it's going to be brought to like big competitive tournaments like that, but you never know. You never know. They could have an entire just game mode shifted just for competitive play, whereas you never know, it could be just a game mode that just says online battle. That's also possible. Or they could have a ranked system in the game. If they do have these ranked systems or some kind of competitive play in mind, make it that it has its own subset of rules, so that way everybody can be, at least an attempt has been made to make everybody a little bit more balanced than what it would be in the base game, and how the Budokai Tenkaichi series has a history of being. That's really all I had to say. Is just be wary if you are a new player to the series. Be wary if you have never played a Tenkaichi game before. You might have played Budokai games before. You might have played Tenkaichi games before. You might have played only Raging Blast. Raging Blast was a far more balanced game than Tenkaichi ever was. Like, literally, Raging Blast has taken, I know Raging Blast gets a lot of hate on, but Raging Blast took a lot of good qualities from Tenkaichi series, and then they just kind of just worked on it and made their own game, which is why I love Raging Blast. It felt like an evolution, but it also did feel like a regression in some sense, in some aspects, especially with the amount of characters. But I gotta give Raging Blast this one credit before I log off here. They did something that I really admire, which is bringing a lot of what if characters into the actual forefront that you can play with. And when you go back and play Raging Blast, you can play as Super Saiyan 3 Broly. That's never happened. You can play as Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta. That's never actually happened. It's all a what if scenario, right? You can play as Super Saiyan, I don't know actually if you can play as a Super Saiyan 4 version of them, but I know that they have Super Saiyan 3 versions of Broly and Vegeta in the game, and they had these just random original characters as well from the story mode. So I just think that's really cool, that's unique, and I feel like Raging Blast could have, that could be taken from Raging Blast. If you are gonna bring us the Tenkaichi series back, they're already bringing us so many different things in the game, so many game modes that we didn't expect that they was gonna bring us. The graphic quality of everything is so up here that we wouldn't ever even thought that they was gonna go and try to reach for. Some of the gameplay systems are like vastly different, while most of them seem to be exactly the same, the way that you can string combos together. So my point of saying that is, even if you're just going to be pulling from most of your inspiration from the Tenkaichi series, I can see that there's some inspiration taken from Raging Blast. It wouldn't be a negative thing, and I don't think anybody would hate you for adding in what if characters and what if scenarios that we could play out that would make sense. Like I said, you know, I would love to be able to play as a Super Saiyan 3 version of Broly again. That was really cool. I really enjoyed that. I don't know if they're gonna do that. I don't even know if they're gonna have the Broly in the game. I wish and I hope, and to me it seems like all that's gonna be DLC. And even if it's not in the base game, if they are able to do like what if characters as a DLC pack, I'm there for it. Release a season pass, I'm buying it. Let me know something that you are waiting for to be announced in this game, or better yet, I want to know what is a what if character, or excuse me, who is a what if character that you're hoping they can pull inspiration from the Raging Blast series or any other series, whether that's superheroes or anything of that nature that you would like to see put inside of Sparking Zero. For me, it's Super Saiyan 3 Broly, and if I had to choose between just like 2 or 3 people, Super Saiyan 3 Broly, Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta, and Super Saiyan 4 Vegito, that shit would be dope. Let me know something down in the comments. If you enjoyed the vibes, make sure you slide and subscribe. Once again, I really do appreciate you. Thank you so much for uplifting me and my channel in my greatest times of depression and all of that, you know, because it seems like every time I go away and take a break from YouTube for even like a week and I'm like super depressed, all of a sudden my videos get views. So I don't know. Thank you for just summoning me back, I guess. I really appreciate you. Stay safe out there. I'll catch you in the next time whenever I have an update for Sparking Zero. And if I don't, then you'll see me in another video. You know, I've been chopping it up, playing a bunch of different stuff. Stay safe out there again. Peace.
I never felt like I never felt like